Good morning, all. This is Dr. D. Khalandar Basha, working as Associate Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad, 43. Today, I am going to discuss the definition terminology related to the Module 5, which is ARM architectures. The first one is define ARM. In early pre-ARM days, ARM stood for Acron Risk Missions. Then, when ARM becomes a separate company, ARM became Advanced Risk Mission, where risk is Reduced Instruction Set Computer, and the modern name is just ARM. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer, which is the type of the microprocessor design. Define memory organization. So, memory organization defines how memory space is organized for a microprocessor or a microcontroller. So, what is meant by ARM architecture? An ARM processor is one of the family of the CPU based upon the RISC architecture developed by Advanced Risk Missions, that is ARM. ARM makes 32-bit and 64-bit RISC multi-core processors. So, what is the latest ARM processor? ARM announcing its next generation ARM Cortex-A72 processor based on the 64-bit ARM V8A design. ARM claims that the new chip delivers as much as 50 times the performance gain compared to the processor from just 5 years ago, or 3.5 times the performance against the ARM Cortex A15 processor. So, what is ARM instruction set? An instruction set architecture, that is ISA, is a part of the abstract model of a computer. It defines how software controls the CPU. The ARM is a family, allows developers to write a software and firmware that conforms to the ARM specifications, secure in the knowledge that any ARM based processor will execute in the same way. What is meant by hardware architecture? So, hardware architecture is a type of computer architecture that separates its memory into parts so that data and instructions are stored separately. Discuss the address space in ARM processor. The address space of ARM processor is 2 to the power of 32, as it supports both little and big India. What is meant by Van Neumann architecture? The term Van Neumann architecture has evolved to mean any stored program computer in which an instruction fetch and a data operation cannot occur at the same time because they share the common bus. What type of communication is used in long distance? So, serial type of communication is used for long distance. This is to E114 E:116 to reduce the cost of the physical mediums. So, how long one, that is logic 1, is represented in RS-232 protocol? In RS-232, logic 1 is represented by -3 volts to -25 volts. This is useful in long distance communication. Recall, enabling and disabling interrupt. So, this is done by modifying the CPSR register in ARM processor, where CPSR stands for current process status register. It can be done by only 3 ARM instructions. MRS, this is for to read the CPSR register, to store in CPSR BIC bit clear instruction or ROR instruction. Outline architecture basics of ARM. ARM cores uses 32-bit load store RISC architecture. That means the core cannot directly manipulate the memory. All the data manipulation must be done by loading registers with information located in memory, performing the data operations, and then storing the value back to the memory. Give the size of ARM flash memory. So 512 kilobytes is embedded flash, 96 kilobytes enabled SRAM is present in ARM. So what is a RISC processor? So RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer. It is designed to reduce the execution time by simplifying the instruction set of the computer. What is a CISC processor? CISC stands for Complex Instruction Set Computer. It is designed to minimize the number of instructions per program, ignoring the number of cycles per instructions. So in CISC, mainly we are going to have the number of instructions are less, whereas in RISC processor, the number of instructions are more. One more difference is the time required for computation of each and every instruction will be less in RISC processor, whereas CISC processor, it requires more number of cycles for execution of an instruction. So what are the modes of operation in ARM? The ARM processor has total 7 modes of operation. The switching between the modes can be done manually through modifying the bit, that is mode bits in CPSR register. Most applications programs execute in user mode. So non-user modes, they are called as privileged modes, are entered to serve interrupts or exceptions. The system mode is a special mode for accessing protected resources. So what is the interrupt latency? It is the interval of time from an external interrupt signal being raised to the first fetch of an instruction to the interrupt subroutine of the raised interrupt signal. System architecture try to achieve two main goals. One is to handle multiple interrupts simultaneously. Outline of thumb 16-bit instruction. With growing code and data size, memory contributes to the system cost. So the need to reduce memory cost leads to smaller code size and the use of narrower memory. So therefore, ARM developed a modified instruction set to give market leading code density for complicated standard C language. What is an exception? An exception is any condition that needs to halt normal execution of the instructions. Examples: resetting ARM core, failure of fetching instruction. Extend link register offset. This register is used to return to the PC to the appropriate place in interrupt task, since this is not always the old PC value. It is modified depending upon the type of exception. Shows the entering exceptional handler 1. Save the address of the next instruction to the appropriate link register LR. Copy CPSR to the SPSR of new mode. Change the mode by modifying bits in the CPSR, that is mode bits. Fetch next instruction from the vector table, which is corresponding to an interrupt. Interrupt leaving exception handler. In this, the move the link register that is LR with an offset minus to the program counter. Copy the CPSR back to the SPSR to CPSR. This will automatically changes the mode back to the previous one. Clear the interrupt disable flags if any flag corresponding to interrupt is set. So recall prioritized simple interrupt handling. So associate a priority level with a particular interrupt source. Handling prioritization can be done by means of software or hardware. With an interrupt signal is raised, a fixed amount of comparisons is done. Next, recall, free fetch, and abort. So, fetch an instruction from an illegal address. The instruction is flagged as invalid, and however, instructions already in the pipeline continue to execute until the invalid instruction is reached, and then a free fetch abort is generated. So, in this session, we have discussed the definition and terminologies related to the unit file, that is ARM process. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.